Oh shit! Fuck you! I fucking hate those maracas. Okay.
Does that count as a preamble?
Hey! You can do your best.
Stop reading Chemicals by the Shoes! I'll give it a solid 8 out of 10! Spoilers, 10 out of 10!
I will,
It's spoiled.
The Shoes are a French electro-rock duo formed in 2007. It consists of Guillaume Brière and Benjamin Lebon. That might not be it, but when I can't pronounce something in French, I just go, oh, because it usually works.
I like that you chose as well to announce the French names in the most radio, like BBC British voice you could possibly conjure up.
Who are both songwriters and producers. Now, every one of these tracks on this album features singers.
Yes.
Who are pretty well unknown, to me anyway. Did you recognise any of the featuring?
Everyone?
Pretty much everyone who featured on the album I didn't recognise. Did you recognise them?
No, as in, like, does every track have a feature?
Every track has a feature apart from the last track. But every single track does.
Okay.
And they're all fantastic. I couldn't fault any one of the featuring vocalists.
I didn't fault any of the singing, yeah.
This album confused the hell out of me.
You just press play
like a lot.
at the top.
Like a lot.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Because there was too many genres hitting you at once?
Yeah.
Right in the face, just.
Yeah.
Right in the face, just. Right in the face.
Yeah.
Just right in the face.
So the first 3 songs, they sound incredible. Like, I love the first 3 songs.
Yeah.
Like, to the point where I was on the verge of wanting to listen to everything this band's ever done. But then the 4th song comes along, Lost in London, and I was like, this is different.
I really like Lost in
Well, I'm
London.
not saying I didn't like it.
No, you just said it in front of everybody that you didn't like Lost in London, which is one of my favourite tracks on the whole album.
It got to that song, and I was like, this is changing. It's different. It's more minimal than everything else, and female vocals this time.
Yes, by Petite Noire.
Interesting.
Yeah. I doubt it's her real name.
Wait, what's her name?
Petite Noire.
Little Black, or not like that?
No, it's. I wouldn't like make up the other. It's just
but is
Petite
it?
Noire.
Never mind. Anyway, so then Vortex of Love comes along, and that is like completely different to the point where if you were to tell me that, or if you were to play me that and then play me any other song from the previous 4. I would never have been able to tell you that it's the same people we're listening to.
You see, I got a different feeling from that. I felt like they covered a lot of genres in this album, but I thought the amazing thing was that it seemed very cohesive.
I thought they very much sat from their sort of style and sound of music for most tracks, and then were like, this is what we sound like, which I think is like the first couple of songs, because they're sort of more genreless, more sort of just dance rock stuff. And then for a lot of the other ones, they're like, this is what we sound like. We're now going to do like Vortex Love was basically like a slow D&B track.
Yeah.
Like we're going to do this style from that. Drifted was like sort of techno. It was very much sort of like progressive techno sort of stuff. That was awesome.
Which one, sorry?
Drifted, the 3rd song.
That we're going to do that, and then they're like, this is like Big Room House. This is like sort of poppy deep house.
Didn't feel the Big Room House track that much.
That right.
Which one was that?
Us and
Us
I.
and I, yeah.
Yeah.
I honestly
Deep
thought,
House? Question mark?
is that song?
No.
Is that
Big
song
Room.
a fucking joke? It's awful.
Same
Like,
thing.
you know what? It's actually enjoyable, apart from when it gets to that
Like-
big room kind of break.
But this is the thing. I was looking through that and I was getting interested because Drifted was awesome, like a progressive techno track. I was like, that's brilliant. Then Vortex is kind of this interesting sort of slow D&B ballad. And I was like, that's pretty nice. And then all the other songs have been. Then Us and I comes, and the first thing I thought is like, oh, You and I. That's kind of generic name, but they've changed it to Us. Yeah, like 100 people have done that. And then it sort of started, and I was just like, what? It was so weak and like badly produced.
And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere,
The kick was like awful, hugely synthetic, and
Well,
really
it was
small.
very synth heavy.
You had to turn the fucking top of it up, and then the percussive lead was disgusting sounding. It was so
I
ugly.
didn't.
terrible. I
I
didn't like
thought that the production on it had some ideas in it. I was like,
In that song that you talk about, or the album.
Oh no, this song in particular. I was like, it has some good ideas in it. But I'm not liking the sound. And then the final third came in, and it was like big volume cuts, and I was like, again, interesting ideas, but it's like. This is just.
I feel like
it doesn't correlate with anything that's happened prior to this.
they tried to make Big Room House interesting. Like, they've tried to do interesting things with all these other dance genres.
I thought that
but
was
they just
interesting.
did it badly.
I didn't think it was bad. I thought they did. It was interesting.
Because it was
I found it was
so
interesting.
generic.
But
It just followed Big Room House formula to the T. It was so generic, and it was just like
I think
everything
it had
you could
more
do
going
to
than
be
just
Big Room House.
going way to.
I think that track was like a 1. That
Yeah.
track was god awful. It was so bad.
I feel
What do you
like
think about that song?
that song. I'll probably give it a 4. You know what? Because that break really fucking brings the whole thing down.
The
When it-
break? What? Like,
Yeah.
I think he means
The last
you mean
third.
the drop, don't you?
Drop
Drop
break.
The guy
The
he
bit-
works for calls it
When?
breaks.
When?
Yeah, I just infected
Oh,
them.
wait.
The
Which point?
Big Room House bit with the big synthetic kick and the awful percussive
Like-
lead thing going on.
I can't remember.
Big room,
I
man. Everyone
remember
knows big
dividing
room.
that song into thirds, and the first 2 thirds were pretty much the same, and the final third was very new and different. If you're talking about that final third, I like that. But,
No, I'm talking about the whole song.
but again, I didn't like the song.
Yeah.
And then Give It Away, I thought was awful. I thought that was a bad song. I thought
I
that was a
thought that
really
was-
bad
I thought
song.
that was
I
pretty
really
good.
enjoyed that one.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty good.
Really enjoyed that one.
Because
Like-
it was their go at a pretty just pop deep house.
Yeah, it
song.
was deep house
It was
song.
their dance cock rock, as we call
And it was
it.
catchy.
But they managed to do it in a not generic way as well. It
Yeah.
wasn't. When I heard it, I didn't go, "Oh, it's the pop deep house song. Yeah, this is pop deep house. Fuck it, next song." I listened to it and I was like, "Oh, this is pretty nice." Oh yeah, I hear that.
I think
percussive
the
verse, this is
opposite
a
of
pop deep
you.
house song.
I think
That's
that
pretty good.
was way more generic than Us and I think that the only thing that was interesting about Give It Away was the fact that underneath it you could hear these guys have really good ideas of how they want to produce music, but they're not doing it. Like in this song, you were like, there are little bits which are like, this is amazing. Why aren't you doing more of that? Because you've got this really generic thing over the top, like this singing of vocals over the top of that was just boring. Nothing.
I fucking
Didn't
love
add
the
anything
vocals
to
in
me.
that. Especially that little vocal like hook they have. And they kept repeating it over and over again.
Oh yeah, that's selling it to me.
It's like a
That hook
mantra.
that they had, and then they like repeated it over and over and over.
Repetition is important. Especially
sounded-
in dance music.
Just boring. Next,
Let's go.
That song was great.
Great song. 10 out of
next
10.
one. 15 instead of and
That was
instead
an
and Brown.
interesting one. It was weird because
It's a weird name. I can't even say it. 15 instead and Brown.
It was sort of strange. It was one of those things like the sort of Miley Cyrus thing we were talking about, where it's sort of just being strangely upfront as a weed reference.
I had like the streets kind of style of lyrics.
very much that sort of talking very English accent sort of thing.
Yeah.
And it was like I liked that it was different, but I didn't think it was done interestingly enough for me to be like, I really like it. Like I didn't dislike it, but it's
I
kinda like,
really liked halfway
it's just
through
odd.
where it kind of
Yeah,
it went
Yeah,
into
yeah.
like drums and electronic.
That guy
music
kind
and
of
stuff.
fucks
That
off
was-
whoever's
that
doing
was
the
cool.
feature on
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Because I didn't like the feature on that one, actually, too much. I didn't like the
thought it was
vocals. I loved the instrumental on that.
I thought
was
that
sweet.
it started to drag towards the end of both bits, though. I
Yeah.
thought he was talking for too long, and then that instrumental bit went on a bit too long.
You know what was really interesting about this album as a whole? How British is this album for a French
for a French
British-
album, yeah. Yeah.
Like, all the vocalists sound really British, and then at the end they have like a lot of grime stuff kind of going on.
Feed the Ghosts. I just want to talk about the guy on that.
Yes.
Is he like the English Tyler the Creator?
Yeah, that's what I think. Because I really kind of deep kind of.
Yeah, he does the Tyler the Creator like slow, really deep, like I'm a fucking walking paradox, you know, like really low shit. And I was just listening to it and I was like, it's kind of cool. It is like a sort of
Sick
English
song.
Tyler
But
the
again,
Creator.
really crazy, because that's like a decent dark hip hop track with like some kind of electronic backing.
I feel like that one very much is
but
trying
what
to be
has
them
that?
doing
What's
a Tyler the
that
Creator
got
track.
to do
That's
with
pretty good.
deep house or like just some kind of a bit
Yeah, that's what we're
generic
saying.
pop?
I think they.
and then also some really cool like fucking space indie pop.
I think
rock
on this album
stuff.
you can pick out like these songs and probably pick out where the information was from. 15 Instead and Brown, I think, could be obviously like a Streets influence, something like that. The Feed the Ghost is obviously Tyler the Creator influence. Give It Away could be like Disclosure. You and I could be Martin Garrix, could be something like that. Could even be Modern Knife Party that they're like influencing like the bad parts of it. Vortex of Love could be like just rudimental, something like that.
I got
sort of
Rudimental.
D&B ballady sort of stuff. Drifted could be someone like Atlas or Echo or one of the sort of the new Mousetrap guys. Like, there's very obvious things where you're like, they were like, we want to do our version of this style, and I think that was what this whole album was. It was a collection of them going, we're going to do this thing.
I didn't like
in our
that.
own way.
I didn't like that as an idea for the album.
I don't think it's a great idea for an album. It makes it feel more like a collection of tracks than
it
an
did
album.
feel like a compilation album. It was weird.
But I thought it was a collection of
But
generally good songs.
I didn't think. Well, I thought that there were two bad songs. As I said, Vortex of Love, Give It Away. Didn't like either of them. But the rest were good songs. The first three, and the final song, Whistle. I quite like that one.
I'm
Whistle, I was meh.
I could go either way on most of those ones you said, but
That was
Us
like-
and I just
It was like
can't
an
believe
ambient
anyone
house
likes that.
track. That last one, I loved it.
Yeah, Whistle was alright. I wasn't a massive fan of Whistle. I think the worst songs on this track, I think Us and I was awful, and then I think Whistle and Vortex of Love were sort of in the lower range of these tracks, but I still thought they were decent.
But this is what I want them to do. And this is like, obviously they're not going to do this because no one is ever going to do this because it's stupid. But
shoes,
this is what
do
you
this.
should do, right? You should grab your first three songs from this album and you should continue making songs like that because that is genuinely, like, I would give that an 8, maybe a 9. Like, those three songs, they were all really interesting. It had your style. The vocals were incredible. The production was incredible. It was interesting at every point throughout that song, and Made for You was like a 5-minute song, and it just felt like a 3-minute indie pop
Those
rock
three
track.
songs
And
were all
they
really
were
good.
so good. I love them. And then you tried to like do your own version of different types of other songs, and it just felt as though the first three songs were really good. The fourth one, not as good in my opinion as the first three, but it kind of like followed on. But then track 5 onwards was just like, we're going to do this type of song, and then this type of song, this type of song, and there is no way that you could have played me any of these songs and me be like, that is the same person. The same people that did Vortex of Love, I would never say did Feed the Ghost.
So I'll take it that your favourite songs from this are just going to
First
be
three.
the first three.
And Whistle.
And Whistle.
I enjoyed Whistle.
My-
Although Whistle had nothing to do with the first three, again, it's style. Like I
You'd
thought
like
it
them
was
to do
decent.
a Whistle album as well.
Maybe.
My favourite ones probably be Submarine, Lost in London, Feed the Ghost, I'd go for.
Mine would probably be Drifted, Submarine, and Feed the Ghost.
So, marks out of 10. Gareth.
I would give this a 7
Ooh.
because I think I agree. The best bits of this album, I would say are all 8s. Some of all the first three, Feed the Ghost, a couple of other ones, they're all really good. But there were low moments. There's like Vortex and 15 Instead of Brown, which I think are more just average songs. And then there's Us and I, which I honestly think is like 1 out of 10. But apart from that, it's pretty good.
Kit.
Oh, okay.
What would you give it?
You know what? I really, really want to give this album an 8, but I'm just not sure if I can.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
totally.
But I want to give it an 8. So you know what? I'm usually quite a harsh marker, so just for shits and gigs, light 8.
Okay.
Light 8 on this one.
I wanted to, like, when I first listened to this, I was like, this could be a 9 from a band that I've literally never heard of. And then it changed. And
And then the Fire Nation attacked.
I don't know. It's difficult to rate. It really is, because those first 4 tracks could have been, if that was continued, that could have been an 8 or a 9 as an album. But the other ones, I don't think the other songs are bad, but I feel as though they don't work as an album. So rating it as an album, it's going to have to be between a 6 and a 7. And I'm going to give it a 7 just because I love the first 3 songs.
Okay.
A light 7. Week 7.
Well,
I honestly thought we'd already ended the episode.
I think
You're lucky I
we've,
didn't start playing music. Thought we were just chatting for that last bit.
No.
I feel like we've dealt with this album in a fair and concise manner, to which, of course, you have all become accustomed to because we are professionals. So, if you'd like to press that thumbs up button, if you enjoyed the video, and if you want to go away and listen to this band, because not a lot of people have heard of them, so go away and listen to this, and come back, leave a comment. What did you think of it? And then fucking subscribe, like any human being would. Come on, I got kids to feed. Catch you later. Oh shit! Fuck you! I fucking hate those maracas. Okay.
Does that count as a preamble?
Hey!
You can do your best.
Stop reading Chemicals by the Shoes! I'll give it a solid 8 out of 10! Spoilers, 10 out of 10!
I will,
It's spoiled.
The Shoes are a French electro-rock duo formed in 2007. It consists of Guillaume Briere and Benjamin Lebon. That might not be it, but when I can't pronounce something in French, I go, oh, because it usually works.
I like that you chose as well to announce the French names in the most radio, like BBC British voice you could possibly
Yes.
conjure up.
Who are both songwriters and producers. Now, every one of these tracks on this album
Yes.
features singers
Yes.
who are pretty well unknown, to me anyway. Did you recognise any of the featuring?
everyone?
Pretty much everyone who featured on the album I didn't recognise. Did you recognise them?
No, as in, like, does every track have a feature?
Every track has a feature apart from the last track, but every single track does.
Okay.
And they're all fantastic. I couldn't fault any one of the featuring
Vocally
vocalists.
didn't fault any of the singing. Yeah.
That's all
This album confused the hell out of me.
You just press play
Like a lot.
at the top.
Like a lot.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Because it was too many genres hitting you at once?
Yeah.
Right in the face, just
Yeah.
right in the face, just right in the face,
Yeah.
right in the face.
So the first 3 songs, they sound incredible. Like, I love the first 3 songs.
Yeah.
Like, to the point where I was on the verge of wanting to listen to everything